For the longest time, I didn't play anybody else's guitars, and that was an issue. And now we're setting up this collection, the Dorset Guitar Museum, funded by Daily Guitar Drawer, in order to, well, it started with me saying I need to play more guitars. And here we are. We have to buy loads of guitars every single week. What it means is I get to buy some really cool things. The case is actually, if it didn't have Maybach on the case, I'd be keeping this. It's so cool. Tell me where I can get a case with this finish on, please, and we'll go from there. But anyway, look, this is a Mayback T54. They are a German brand. The instruments are very competitively priced for something made in the EU to the highest standards, apparently. And I've heard people call these, well, this particular model at least, a Telecaster killer. This is a quick Luthiers teardown. I'm gonna open it up, see what they do, see if they do anything different, apart from obviously electronically, and we'll go from there. But is that not so cool? This cover, this leather, this whatever this is, must be available commercially somewhere. It must be. I want it. Hell. Yeah, I want it. It's even cooler inside. Oh, the green velvet. Ah. Oh. Okay, this was another one of the guitars that I went and bought from Charlie Chandler's Guitar Experience. Ooh. Ooh, I forgot that was in there. And I bought it specifically with this video in mind, and of course I've left it very, very, very late because so much else is going on. This instrument is available on the Daily Guitar Drawer website to win for the next probably 3 or 4 days, I suppose. But this is also something that's going to be happening a lot on the channel. There's lots of stuff in there. The Luthiers teardowns are where I look at other instruments or other interesting instruments and see why they've done what they've done so that we can figure out what we can do to improve our own guitars, collectively speaking. T54 Miami Green, aged, and I bought it because of the aging. We've got a sugar pine body, 3.4 kilograms, I'm going to assume, maple neck, amber single core. Okay, we've got a sugar pine body and a sugar pine top. That's interesting. Yeah, they're amber pickups. This was made in 2019. So an American standard Telecaster is, you know, 1,200 or so pounds, and obviously there's many different options. If you're going to be competing at the £2,000 end of things, I think that this guitar is actually competing with essentially custom shops, really. And I love the weight. I love the acoustic tonal response. I'm holding it on a guitar case, which is an unfair thing. It just keeps on going. The finish aging, the hardware aging on this is superlative, and that's the sort of handwork, care and attention to detail that does take this far and away beyond what you get with a standard Telecaster. Also, you know, we've got very, very good quality hardware. Granted, it's not stamped out on the same machines that made the original Telecasters back in the day, but there is basically top spec Goto 510 tuners, Goto bridge, with all of the adjustability for intonation, etc. that you expect in a modern instrument, but it looks beautifully old. I don't think this has been put through a, well, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's been shoved in a freezer and left and the whole thing is crackled. It looks like they've gone and very carefully, very accurately created all of this. Maybe with a scalpel blade, I don't know, I might well be wrong. But as a relic guitar, it's been done very, very well in my book. What do you think? I suppose the real question is, why does anybody else make Telecasters? answer me in the comments. We all know that it's a very, very basic instrument to make. It is simple by design, and that simplicity is probably one of the reasons why it sounds as good as it does, or is as versatile as it is. It's just, it is what it is. The headstock, whatever you do to a tele headstock, it always looks wrong. It just is what it is. But look, I'm going to take this, I'm going to open this up, see if they've done anything special other than just replicating very well an old design, and we'll go from there. I'm going to leave the strings in place when I take the neck off, and in order to do that, use a capper. While we're about it, we're going to clean the fretboard up a little bit as well, and just prepare this to go out to the whoever wins this instrument. Okay, this is nice and tight, so that's well made, and it does not feel like there's oodles of finish on there. The neck went in when the lacquer was quite soft, which is fine. Actually, so what we've got here is little speckles. Zoom in. Little speckles of, I think they call it the Miami green finish, but it's not actually from the cavity. It's, I don't know, maybe it's from the finishing process itself. Let's get this neck out of the way and have a look. I like that we've got a 5-screw scratch plate. That's pretty cool. Very vintage. I wonder if it's actually Bakelite. Doesn't say anywhere on the specs. Oh, okay. So, well, that's interesting. There's a fairly cheap basic ceramic capacitor there, waxed cloth wire. The shielding is very nice. It's obviously copper tape, and I like the way that they've had the copper tape go to the back of the scratch plate. I'm assuming that's just one piece. An issue you've got with using metal tape as the shielding is that unless you go and buy very, very expensive tape with a conductive glue that helps it stick down, essentially the sticky stuff mostly insulates each piece of tape from each other. So you need to use one piece or somehow fold the edges over so that the whole thing is one contiguous Faraday cage. But it does have a very nice vintage look. It also takes more time than using, for example, Crimson Guitar's shielding paint. So I like that. Oh, okay. And we've got a couple of gorgeous pink Dunlop 46mm. 46mm. Huh, interesting. That somebody's lost under there. Look at this. Look at that. Okay, that's great. So it's very cool. It kind of feels, I don't know, it feels a little bit more substantial. That might be Bakelite. It's definitely not nitroed like the proper vintage ones would be, or custom shops, but still, that's a cool thing. I don't think I've got a proper connection between each of these pieces of tape here, so it's actually not doing what they think it's doing. It's also probably not necessary. But we've got a vintage style route there, and this gorgeous aging. I'm not going to take the bridge out. We don't need to do that. We know what that's going to look like at this stage. There is some finished detritus and dust, etc., from the manufacturing of the guitar in here, but they've managed to avoid painting the control cavity, the neck cavity. Something that a lot of people are doing nowadays is painting the whole guitar and then routing the neck cavity, which is pretty clever. But here we go. So this is what I'm talking about. The bottom of the cavity, etc., is nice and clean. I'm not sure how they've done that, but it's a bit weird because from the other side you can see some runoff, and obviously you've got some excess bits of paint, etc. there. But what we can see is that there is not a separate top. This is a pine body, and the original Telecasters were made with pine bodies, and it sounds fantastic with a good quality, hard, high build finish. You can actually use softwoods like this successfully. They do dent. I nearly said better. They dent easily, which is fine if that's what you're after. If, however, you are doing a hand-applied finish at home, softwoods, I will always say, are a big no-no, because unless you want an aged relic dented finish or a more delicate guitar. So that's that. It's just a piece of pine. The neck is a very well made, skunk striped, and the walnut skunk stripe is fitting very nicely. It's very well done. It does have a very nice shape as well, and size. Obviously you can see where it's been screwed and created normally by a normal person rather than a big old factory. A body and truss rod with an Allen key adjustment. So we've still got the modern hardware done in a vintage style, but yeah, hold on. I'm fermenting some thoughts. I'm thinking here. The fretwork, I mean, it's obviously a little bit dirty because, hey, it's a used guitar. We're about to clean that up. The fretwork is fine. It's good quality. It seems to have been dressed properly and all of that. It's fine. It's all right. We own the biggest guitar building school in the world at this point. We teach more people than anybody else. 300, 400, 500 people a year, and that's fantastic. On the most basic guitar building course, where you're building one from scratch, a Telecaster is the thing that we ask you to make, or something along those lines, something bolt-on, something relatively flat, etc. You can also go on Amazon and I can buy a container load of Telecaster kit guitar type things, very well made, abroad, for a few £1,000s, not very much at all. We can buy them on Amazon for under 100 quid. What is the difference between, what is the point in making another Telecaster when it is something that somebody could literally just batch out with ease? We've got a good quality maple neck. We've got very good quality hardware, so we spent more money on the hardware for sure. We've got custom, I think, or at least boutique pickups. I think they're hand wound. I haven't researched the company, and it sounds great, and you'll hear it sounding great a little bit later. And there's a non-standard material for the body. But what you're actually paying for here is, this company could very easily have gone to any one of China, India, any one of these places that make kit guitars and said, hey, I want a sugar pine body and I want a maple neck, etc., and then sent it over to them, and here is what I'm saying you're paying for with this guitar. Very, very good finishing, very good hardware and pickups, great attention to detail, but the actual guitar building is very, very basic. The real question is that just the case? You know, I want to build a Les Paul Junior or Special analog as a model for Crimson. I'm probably going to end up doing a Telecaster as well. At what point are we kit guitar builders versus custom guitar builders? I suppose that's what I'm thinking about. Because the real skill here, and there is serious skill here, is in the finish. It is in the quality of the spraying. It is in the quality of the setup. It's in the quality of the, hey, I'm going to buy these Goto 510 tuners rather than something else. They've put serious, proper, well-informed thought into this instrument, and they've designed something. Well, have they designed it? They have copied something from the 50s, and they've copied it very well, and they've managed to get the same sort of sound, or actually, probably improved. But the actual guitar building is so basic that it's the first guitar that most people in the world build. My question to you is that a bad thing or not? I actually think not. And coming from somebody who overcomplicates everything that he ever touches, that hits home. That's a sort of a stab and twist, right in my insecurities kind of a thing. Let me know in the comments what you think. We are going to put this guitar back together again, clean the frets up a little bit, and I will get somebody else to show you what it sounds like. I think if you actually just buy guitar bodies and necks made to your specifications by somebody else on a CNC machine, or if you have a CNC machine and you have it, the Fender Custom Shop, are they just glorified kit builders? That is the question. Are you just glorified kit builders? And why does that sound like a bad thing? I don't think it even is. We're going to put these back under the scratch plate for whoever wins this guitar. All right. It's the end of the day and everybody's gone home, so it's just me. I mean, it's a delicious guitar. I'm just going through the Marshall, it's a DSL thing. It's fine. Middle. There's nothing special going on with the wiring. There's nothing special. It's just well made with a cheap capacitor. Nice and smooth. And then bridge. I mean, it sounds delicious. Great pickups, good quality wiring, but God, I need to learn how to play. Look, this is a Telecaster. It is not a Telecaster on steroids. It is not anything special for a Telecaster apart from the fact that it is made out of pine, like the originals. It is made very, very well with a very nice neck joint, with very good quality fretwork, with a good quality nut, exceptional hardware. The pickups are fantastic. The whole thing is actually bloody awesome. But it's also just a Telecaster. I don't even know why I'm so conflicted about this. Maybe it's just the day I'm having. Maybe. It sounds great. It would sound better in the hands of somebody who played better, and it would sound better through an amp that wasn't going through my lapel. We are actually, as part of Dorset Guitar Museum, trying to set up a full analog 70s style recording studio that, I mean, fully set up, a fully functional, usable studio. This is the guitar. It's amazing. Thank you for watching. Click like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Do you have a Maybach? Maybach? How do you pronounce it even? Do you have one of these? Do you like it? Do you like this crackled finish and the fact that it's not particularly even? It looks natural. I don't know. I'll catch you on the flip side. Goodbye.